Hi, this is part one of a three-part series of videos covering the 404K from Crossover. Well, from Korea. This is the unboxing. Now, I ordered this on Friday of last week, and today is Wednesday, and it just got here a few hours ago. And I can't blame them for the shipping delay because it was the weekend and they actually shipped it out on Monday. And for free shipping from Korea by air freight, that's an incredible deal and very quick. Now, as you can see, it was resealed by UPS. I don't know why that was. Maybe it was checked out in customs. Maybe the seller from eBay, which was Dream Seller by the way, decided to check it out and repackage it. I did order this with the remote, and I've heard from some people online that they did not get the remote even though they ordered it with one. So I'm kind of interested to see if this has a remote in it. It's actually fairly well packaged. You can see this nice big chunk of cardboard and styrofoam. I mean, this is actually rather professional. It's form cut foam. And except I got a little plastic piece in here. I'm not really sure what this is. Looks like a foot or something. It's rubber. So we'll see. It's probably for the monitor stand. And this has a Korean power adapter from what I've heard, and they did include this little 110 volt standard North American plug to Korean plug. So I don't know. We'll see. I got look here. This must be the remote. Oh my god, that's a lot of friggin' bubble wrap. Okay, well, it's a remote control. And I know this is the least interesting part of the unboxing, and I'll give you a photo of that nice and close up. Yeah, and it said it would be Korean language, and it is. All the buttons that have words on them are labeled in Korean, but it doesn't really look like a problem because it's kind of obvious. Like, channel up down has a plus and minus, and the volume button has a little up arrow and down arrow, so it shouldn't be too hard to use. And really, it's just for powering on and navigating the menu, and the menu I should be able to set to English, so that's no big deal. Some more bubble wrap kind of in front of the screen, which I guess is a good thing. By the way, another thing which people said is that their boxes arrived damaged, and on some forums there's been speculation that maybe the Korean sellers poke holes. Hang on, let me get that out of the way. A lot of bubble wrap in here. There's been some speculation that the Korean sellers poke holes in the boxes to so that they can make claims against the shipper, against UPS in this case. I don't necessarily see that as being true because UPS probably wouldn't accept a damaged package because they'd be afraid of the claim. So this box is actually, let me show you that real quick. It's in pretty perfect condition. Not a mark on it, came in perfectly square and true, not even a dent. And yeah, it's actually a pretty nice box, double corrugated cardboard. And I'm sure you don't really care about any of that. Nope. We got a baggie here. Looks like it has the power supply, instruction manual, and probably the DVI cable in there. It's got an audio cable too. I guess that's nice. I got plenty of audio cables, so that's not a big deal. And now, for the pièce de résistance, the panel itself. Let me get the box out of the way, and I will bring the panel up onto the table. I'm lifting it like this by the bag. It's probably not the wisest idea because if the bag breaks right now I'm screwed, but that's actually how I always lift monitors out of boxes. It's worked out well for me so far. Really, that's it. That's the entire stand, is just this one piece of metal. Okay, so here we are. Ooh, that's some poor quality plastics around the edge. I mean, I knew it would be. This is obviously a very inexpensive monitor, which I'm sure you know if you've been researching it and you took the time to watch this video. And here's the back of it in all its glory. It's got VESA mounting holes. I think it's 200 by 100 millimeter. And yep, input ports, controls for the power menu system and all that good stuff. And the front of the panel itself. Physically, I don't want to drop it, but physically it looks like it's in good condition. It's got no cracks in it. It's actually perfectly clean. A couple pieces of dust, but no nicks, nothing that would turn me off of this immediately. No shipping damage, it looks like. We don't really know how good it came through until I power it up. Now, I did not get the Pixel Perfect version because people, again, on the forums, particularly overclockers.net, have been saying that the Pixel Perfect really doesn't mean a thing. People order it with the Pixel Perfect and it does not come through Pixel Perfect, and they end up having to fight with the seller and they get a couple of bucks back. And I kind of figured I'd avoid the potential hassle and just take my chances. And I guess we'll see if I got lucky or not. Oh my god, this is annoying. Okay, yeah, I almost find it hard to believe that this is the entirety of the stand. This one chrome metal piece. It's not even that heavy, so I don't know what it is. Maybe aluminum covered in chrome, and it's a cheap chrome job too. It's kind of bubbling up in some of these areas. But not a big deal because I'm planning on mounting this using the VESA mounts anyway. So nuts to this stand. But for now I am going to attach the stand just so that I can put it up on this table and show it to you. In the meantime, I'll get the crap out of this bag. Power supply. Whoa. Okay, DVI cable. Now, everyone online says this DVI cable is a piece of crap, and people have had problems because of it. I did order a decent cable from Amazon. It's a monoprice cable. I know everyone recommended, I think it was the Acel cable, which is apparently DisplayPort certified. I don't know. It was overpriced in my opinion, and they only had the 10-foot version prime, and I only wanted a 6-foot cable. Yeah, I mean, the cable's thick, so I don't know, it might be pretty well shielded, or it could just be an obnoxious amount of insulation for whatever reason. The connectors themselves, you can hear that. It's cheap plastic, like really cheap. So, just as far as the connectors go, this is by far the cheapest DVI cable I've ever seen. So, get rid of that. And a simple stereo 1/8" phone connector, male to male cable. Again, not very impressive, seems pretty low quality. Probably won't use it for anything ever. Power supply itself. Now this is interesting. They came with the North American to Korean, looks like / European style adapter. However, the power brick itself has a standard, what is it, a C13, C14 connector on it. Anyway, it's a standard kind of connector you have in any computer or monitor out there, pretty much. So, I got plenty of cables for that, so I'm not going to end up using the cable that it came with, which, as you can see, has the 2 big prongs on it. That goes into there, and it does not go into there easily. Come on, you son of a... Alright, there we go. Yeah, this is just kind of sloppy. I mean, it's just huge. I guess I understand why it's like this, because this is a Korean product for sale in Korea. But it doesn't seem like it would be hard to swap this out for a North American cable. Like I said, it's just a standard computer cable. There's nothing special about it whatsoever. Which is actually a great thing, because I hate when they use proprietary or strange cables coming out of the power bricks. On the other end of this, it's a very proprietary 4-pin connector. There's a picture of it, which is kind of bad. I mean, a lot of the new Dell monitors use the same power supply that their laptops use, so it's really easy to get replacements for those. This is going to be probably really hard to replace if I ever had to. The output voltage is 24 volts at 5 amps, which is actually a good thing because it'd probably be easy to get a 24 volt power supply, and I could always splice this connector onto it if I needed to. Alright, let me attach the stand to the monitor. Huh. That's interesting. I would love to attach the stand to the monitor, except for the fact that it looks like it takes 4 screws to do so, and I do not have the 4 screws. And they're not already in the monitor. I can see there's 4 holes on the bottom of the monitor that line up with the 4 holes in this bracket. But without the right size screws, well, I'm screwed. Let's see if I lost it in the packaging. Maybe it's taped to the side of the packaging that I quickly got rid of. Oh, there's another one of these rubber feet things, which I can tell where they go now. Wow, that's buried in there. Oh, it's like trying to deliver a baby. Okay. Yeah, there are 2, like I said, little rubber feet. I'm pretty sure those just go on the end of the stand like that, because there's rubber pads on the back of the stand. So why wouldn't it go like that? It's kind of weird those are just loosely thrown into the box. I mean, there, that goes like that. Ah! It fell on the floor. Alright. Comes with 4 Phillips head screws and a very, very weird screwdriver, which I'm going to try to use right now just for the sake of having a little fun. More like pulling my hair out with this thing. This is the absolute weirdest screwdriver I've ever seen in my life. I guess it makes sense. One piece of metal just bent. Very cheap to make, obviously. I'm actually not sure which side of this stand is the front and which side is the back. I guess that's probably why they have instructions. Funny thing is, on the cover of the instructions, the stand that they show with the monitor is not the same stand that you get when you actually receive the monitor. Ah, and the instructions are all in Korean, which again is to be expected. And it's not like I really need to read the instructions in depth. I just want to know which way this freaking stand is supposed to go on. Alright, that's funny. It doesn't say which way the stand is supposed to go on, and it's not really biased. It looks like it can be hooked up either direction. So I am going to put it on this way because that fits easier with my little propped up box here. If I'm putting the stand on wrong, don't send me, comments saying I'm an idiot here. It doesn't really matter because, like I said, I'm going to be mounting this with its VESA mount on a nice pole coming off my desk that'll be firmly attached. So this stand is just for the sake of demonstrating it in the video. And maybe I'll look it up and show you what the stand's supposed to look like right now. Okay, with the stand attached, get my little box out of the way, put it on this shelf over here, and now, once again, the monitor. Wow, that's big. Okay, I'm back. I hooked the monitor up to my computer using HDMI cable, and I used that because it's the only one I have that's long enough to reach my computer all the way over there. So right now this is running at full 4K resolution, but only at 30 Hz because my video card isn't HDMI 2.0 compatible. But it's good enough to get a white field displayed on the screen so that I can check for bad pixels. And I got pretty lucky in that the screen was very clean, except for a small cluster of dark pixels, which I'm having trouble finding right now. Right about, well, somewhere up here. The point is, it's probably about 3 or 4 pixels. And like I said, I didn't order the Pixel Perfect version, which I guess is fine for me, because even if you order Pixel Perfect, most of the sellers say that a few dark pixels are acceptable. They'll only guarantee that there are no bright pixels. I'm guessing that's probably because they power on these monitors, if they do in fact check them, and there's some debate about that. They probably power them on with the screen dark, and they don't actually check it with an input. So unless you have a white field or some kind of colored field displayed on here, you won't know if there's dark pixels. So even if I got Pixel Perfect, I wouldn't be able to return this, and maybe I get a couple of bucks back if I complain loudly. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied. There's a little bit of dark spots under here, right around the edges, where maybe the bezel is too tight. I've heard reports from some users who said that they loosen the bezel, just opening up a few screws along the bottom or on the sides, just like half turn, quarter turn, whatever it happens to be, just enough to get rid of the dark spots where the bezel might be pressing on the panel. So I'm going to give that a shot, but not too optimistic. But overall, it's a pretty even white field. The camera is doing it pretty good justice right now, and so you can see that it's properly exposed right now, camera-wise. So you can see there's a little bit of backlight bleed around the edges, but it's pretty uniform. I did check it out with a red field, green field, blue field, and it's about the same. So, like I said, I'm pretty happy with it so far. In my next video, I'm going to do a full review of the display itself and cover things like input latency, contrast, color reproduction, and all sorts of other good stuff. One last thing I'd like to do for the unboxing is to show you some close-up pictures of the monitor, particularly the inputs and the bezel and the back of it, just to give you an idea of the quality of the materials and what everything looks like. I'll also show you the accessories. So that's the Crossover 404K. I'm not overly impressed with its build quality, but at this price point I can't complain too much, and the real concern with any display is the panel itself, not so much the fit and finish of the materials. And as of right now, I'm overall pretty happy with it. Now, I haven't really checked out the panel in full by displaying images, video, or games on it yet. I haven't tested the color reproduction, so I'm not 100% sold yet, but at least it arrived without any real defects. The stuck pixels are not the end of the world because they're all the way up here. If they had been in the middle of the screen, it would bother me quite a bit because it would be right in the middle of my line of sight. And so far so good. Check out my next video, which will cover the display in more depth, and my third video, which is going to discuss choosing a monitor in general. Not only why I chose the 404K, but why you should choose any particular monitor, and what you should consider, and what all the terminology means. So until next time, thanks for joining me.